Yo, yo, yo. Let me. You can see this. This is like me creating special effects. So check it out. So I got this character that kind of like produces energy, really like lightning effects. Now, excuse me. If I was doing this on paper, I don't know. I feel like it'll be easier, but I'm kind of experimenting right now on how to do these effects. So bear with me. I'm really just coming out of here. I wonder, do I want this to bleed into the panel line? Sometimes that's cool to make it look like something is popping out. So I just gotta give it a little outline. Over the years, I've been getting more comfortable with this kind of hash and speed line thing on the tablet. I haven't like gotten completely to the point of where I would do these effects completely on the tablet versus using like a brush tool. But right now, this is working for creating this effect. It's kind of like direction is everything. But I do like how it's turning out. I am satisfied with how it looks. When I color this, I might do this a completely different way. Like I probably could do the effect the same way, but I just had an idea. It angers me greatly, but it'll probably save me some time in coloring this. I don't know, it might need to be done like this because when I get to the part of shading, doing this effect, in the grayscale. And then when I color it, it's easy to just shade that in and put the color in on top. That'll save me some time production wise. But I could keep it like this and just color on the inside. Because I do feel like the heavy black pops more for the black and white version. So when you get volume 4 and you see that this is gonna jump out on the page more versus seeing it in grayscale. So I guess I just talked myself into exactly what I'm gonna do. I was just watching some video on the Spider-Verse series. They were talking about why it's delayed and the drama in production. I don't know if any of it is true, but what they were saying is just like that the writer who has complete control, production is hell because he likes to make changes after work is completed. And that's something, when I used to do commissions, that plagued me, and I figured out that a lot of writers really don't understand people who write and don't draw. Like, they don't comprehend the labor. And a lot of people don't comprehend the act of drawing and creating art anyway. Like, the layman, they see drawing as like a magic experience, and they don't know the amount of thought and planning that goes into it, the prep and things of that nature. So it's kind of like, I don't know if they imagine that you're just pulling artwork out of your ass. So certain things they ask for, sometimes they ask for things that aren't physically possible. Sometimes they ask for things that are like way out of your wheelhouse as far as your style as an artist or what you're capable of. Like some crazy level of detail, or to make something look like this particular artist or that particular artist. And then even when you let them in on the process of like, okay, here's the scripts, here's the first draft, rough draft, okay? Now the second draft, I'm gonna take your notes from the draft. Now this is just sketch, so I'll lightly sketch, but I'll sketch completely enough so that I know that the writer can see what's going on. It's just not scribble lines to them, right? They can see the action, they can see the detail, they can see the background, right? And I send it to them like, okay, this is what I got. This is what I came up from the script you gave me, and your notes and what you said you wanted to see. Is that cool? They'll say yeah. It might give a little, yeah, make sure you do this, do that, blah, 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 blah. And then you do a second draft, right? Because you take their notes and you do another sketch draft, right? I'm like, okay, I took your notes. I made these changes. I did this. I did that. Is this cool? And they say, yeah, that's cool. That's what I want to see. I'm like, okay, so I got the green light. Green light. So then you finalize the work. You ink it. You might shade it and color it. So we're done now, right? No. You send it back, and this is when they want you to change the entire thing. oh no, I decided to do this and do that and do this and do that and do this and do that. And then they don't understand that, like, your chance to make those decisions has passed, right? I gave you the first draft. I gave you the second draft. Now, a lot of writers, especially somebody that's hiring you or paying you, they have the idea that, like, I'm paying you, just do the work. But you're not paying me sufficiently. So you pay me a page rate. You pay me, let's say you paying me $50 a page, right? You give me $50, right? And we go through this process. And I gave you the first draft, you cleared it. I gave you the second draft, you cleared it. So now I made the final product, and now you want changes. Like, now you owe me another $50. Because now I'm making a whole new page. Does that make sense? You know? But that's not how they want it to go. They just think, oh, I gave you the $50. You're mine. I own you and your ability until I get something that I'm satisfied with. And so I don't know if they lack the vision, or if they're just saying okay just to get you through the page, or maybe they can't see it until, like, it doesn't register to them mentally until they see the finished product. You know, so it's hard to find a writer with the visual expertise to be able to look at the rough drafts and the sketch work and visualize what it will look like as a finished product. And how do you know that? You know that because you're familiar with your artist's work. So, like, I got the vision. So, let's say Joe Madureira, right? Because that's my favorite comic book artist of all time, right? So let's say I hired Joe and I'm paying his page rate of $1 million per page, right? When he send me when we go through the rough drafts, first draft and second draft, I'm not gonna need to make changes because I got the vision to know what his final work is gonna look like. You know. And so when it comes out, it comes out. But also, I think when you're a writer and you're working with an artist, you hired that artist for a reason. So you gotta you have to trust in their skills. And so, and I'm kind of thinking about hiring other artists too, because I got so many extra other stories that I want to work on. And you know, because I got my main things, my babies, then I'll be having ideas for other things that are really cool that I wouldn't mind sharing and passing along. So you gotta let the artists do their thing. You gotta let them shine. You gotta let them take ownership. You gotta let their voice shine through too. And it's really like putting down the ego. So I try to create without ego, even with dealing with myself, because a lot of pages or character designs or whatever, I might not be satisfied with within myself. But I gotta take the ego out and look at it objectively and says, okay, is it good? And do people like it? And that's the beauty of having social media is you could post it. And you could poll and you could actually ask people, like, what do you guys think of this? And if I'm conflicted about something and I see that people respond to it, then I'll still go with it, because it's not up to you and your ego, it's up to what the story dictates. And that's how you know you've written a good story. When the story is alive and it takes a life of its own in how the story flows and how it ends isn't necessarily up to you. It's what the story dictates. And that's based on the fact that if you've crafted a world with its own rules on how that world works, then you put the characters in this world, and these characters fleshed out with their own personalities and the way their mind works and how they behave emotionally. And then you set the stage, then it's not really up to you anymore. That's when you created this live thing, this living world, where all those dynamics are going to come together and they're going to dictate what happens, right? The characters, how you've mapped them out, how you have structured the characters is going to dictate what the character do next. Not what you think is cool because you've seen it before in a movie, or you want your character to move like this or like that. If you create this original character, then they're going to do certain things in certain situations. You know, that character might run when he sees a dragon. You know, he might not, you know. Some characters might freeze. Some characters might do that. And you've really got to flesh out that character and give them a complete personality, a complete vision, a complete mission. And the only time that character really changes is when they interact with the other characters. And this is how we create conflict. Not because this is the bad guy and this is the good guy, but the way this person is and the way that person is, when they meet, they're not going to get along. They're not going to agree. Their mission is different. The outcome is different. Their belief system is different. So we're really creating these conversations of people with different beliefs and then taking that to the extremes, and that's how we display our works, you know. Man, I spent this whole time working on this effects. I like, this is dope. I hope everyone agrees. I like how it's turning out. Let me do something with these hands. I usually don't do this kind of thing before I put the lines in. But as I'm experimenting right here on the page, I kind of want to see what this is going to look like. Oops. Is that right? Yeah, that's right. And so, right now I'm at work. That alarm went off. Pretty sure you heard it. That's my alarm to do my rounds. So I gotta do a little security walk. I'm about to do that, then I'm gonna come back, probably start a new video and finish this. But let's just take the sketch layer off. Okay, I like how that look. That looks pretty good. That's dope. It stands out. When I put everything in there, it's gonna look amazing. I promise. All right, I'm gonna sign off for now. I'll be right back. Oh, that's all my business. Get out my business.